Hello everyone. So today we will discuss lambdas in Java. Okay. So we will also understand the code and we will start from a very simpler lambda function. We will even go to the complex lambdas function. Okay. Because we have to understand from complete basics to a bit or a more level experience level. Okay. That's all we will covering up in today. Okay. Now, to understand what is lambda, first I will go through the definition, which I'm showing you right now. So definition is like not that important, but you should be knowing it. Okay. So a lambda expression in Java is a concise way to represent an anonymous function. Okay. So I'll tell you in a more in a simpler terms. Okay. What actually it means. So let's assume you have some function which you don't want to use it again and again. Okay. Maybe you have to use it only in some place for some functionality. Okay, you don't have to create a separate method for that. So that's where you can use this anonymous functions or lambdas functions. Similarly, this can be used in the interfaces, functional interfaces and all, where you want to give the functionality to the interfaces. Okay, there you don't have to create another class or another functions. You can just directly provide the definition of that, or you can say functionality to that function wherever you want to use them. Okay, so that's where it's being called as an anonymous function or an anonymous class. Okay, because I don't have to declare my class, I don't have to declare my functions, I can create the functionality anywhere. Okay, now design is very much straightforward. The two opening brackets you can see over here, these are nothing but inputs. Okay, then you have a center arrow, and then the two curly braces. So the center arrow is like it's a different, it's a, you can say, separating factor between your input parameters and a code block. Okay, and that last curly brace is nothing but a code block where you will actually write the code. Okay, so below you can see I've shown you more examples. These are just the theory examples. I'll go to the actual code and I'll show you that also. Okay, so you can see parameter 1, parameter 2, and then I'm creating an arrow mark, and then I'm writing the code block. Okay, similarly you can have multiple parameters, you can have one parameter, you can have null parameter. This is what even I've shown you here. Now let's just not waste time, just directly jump into the code. Okay, so we will invest our more time in the code, try to understanding it. Okay, so I have already written a bit set of code that we will try to come up. Okay, so for you I have already created one lambda class. Now this is like a normal generic class, I can even name it anything, but I've named it as a lambda right now. Okay, so I created an array list over here of integer. Now I have used lambda function to just print them. You can even use the normal for loop, but now let's assume we want to understand the lambdas. Okay, and we don't want to write a complete for loop again. So that's where we can, like, in for loop you have to declare variable, increment it, go over your array list and then print them. So these all things will not be required, we will use the lambda function over here. So this for each function is there. Okay, so this will help us iterating over the array list, and what we have to do when we iterate over the array list, that we will write in the lambda function. So we are taking that input, so whatever is iterating and coming to the input to my lambda. Okay, so you can see I have opened two parentheses. Okay, so to take an input. Now n is nothing but the we can say the values which I'm putting it, that is 12, 45, 78, all those things. So n is having 12. Okay, and what I'm doing after that, you can see I'm putting an arrow mark, and then I have a two block opening of curly braces. Okay, in that I'm just doing a system.println. Okay, now this is a multi-line code which I've written it. We can write even the lambda function in a single line, because I'm writing just a single line, so I don't need to create multiple lines. So this also you can see around 25 line I created a code. Again, a dot for each, this is for iteration is required. Okay, then my input parameters, I'm creating two parentheses and I'm taking input as n, and then arrow mark separating between my input and the code block. And then you can see over here, I right now in line number 25, I'm not using the curly braces. Okay, directly I'm putting my code block, that is system.out.println. Okay, and then semicolon in the end. So that's what even I have printed in the below. Okay, same things are coming from both the things. So this is what we can achieve, it's a good thing. Okay, to understand much more about the lambdas, we will actually talk about the objects, because that is the place where we will be working out. Okay, we will not be working out on the normal array list and all normal integers array list, we will be working out on the objects to understand it. Okay, so for you I've already created a list of employees. Okay, now this I've created one employee class over here. Employee class is having three field: name, department name, and salary. Okay, and I've used a constructor over here where I'll be filling up the data, and then I have a normal getter and setter. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now Here you can see I have already created a lot of objects for myself, and I'm adding them in an array list by an add all function. Okay, straightforward. Now yeah, this is the one thing which I've done it. Now we will do lambda, like we will use the lambda function to sort my input of array list, that is input of employees list, okay, with their department name. Okay, so you can see I have finance, HR, sales, finance, HR, sales. Now I want to sort the data on the basis of department name. So this I can do it via lambdas. Okay, I don't have to run a for loop or do anything in that. Okay, I can do it in the lambdas. So how I can do? So if you have a array list available on that sort function, you can call. Now in this you have to define how you will be sorting them. Okay, now for sorting you should be knowing, like, I will be needing two parameters to sort them. Okay, so you can see I have taken two input parameters, employee 1 and employee 2. Okay, I'm using a arrow mark to differentiate between my input and the code block. Then yeah, okay, now I'm using a return statement. Now I'll tell you why. Because the sort requires a return statement output. That's why I have to return the data, which I'll be creating it over here. Okay, now sorting them basis on the department name. So get the department name, compare to function is available on the string. Okay, you can see the moment I'm hovering it over, it's coming up on the top. This compare to function, I get it from the string. I don't have to manually provide. Okay, then providing the other department name. On this basis, it will sort the data depending upon the department name. Now, how it will come? It will come in the increasing order, like A, B, C, D. So my F is coming first, so F will come first, and then whatever is the rest part, that will come up. Okay, now I'll run this function, okay, to show you the output, how it's coming up. So this will be running employees. Even for running that, I'm running a for each, and in that I'm providing a lambda function again. Okay, so I'm using everywhere a lambda so that we come to a good understanding of it. Okay, system out println and providing the emp, same whatever is the input. Okay, I want to print that. That's what we are doing it. Let's just run it and see it. See, now we got the output. It's sorted in the department name. Finance is coming top, then HR, then the sales. Okay. So this is how we can use one more way of using the lambda function. Okay. Now we will also jump up to more ways to do this, like by using the functional interfaces and creating anonymous classes, creating anonymous functions. Okay. So for that, I've already created one functional interface over here. Okay. Which is having one abstract function. Okay. Now I want to sort the employee data basis on salary, but I have some conditions. Okay, my conditions, like, I want to get the salary who is greater than this, get the list of salary who are less than this, get the salary who is equal to this. Okay, so now to make this feature enable, if I don't use lambda, then I have to create three different classes and provide the functionality. So that's what I have done it right now to show you an example. Okay, if I don't use lambda, then I'll be needing to create another class, and then I have to implement that interface, then provide the functionality to it. Like what I've done, I've taken an input of array list. Okay, and I'm running a for loop. Okay, and if I employer get salary is greater than some condition, I'm adding it and I'm returning this list. Okay, this similarly I have created less than salary. Okay, over here my only criteria is changing less than. Okay, then I have created also equal to salary, whereas I'm checking for equal to. Okay, if I don't use lambda, I have to create three different classes, give the functionality, override the functions. This is how. And even now how to use that also I'll show you to you once. Okay, if I just go to my client lambda. Okay, so here I've already created one function for you. Okay, I have created an object of greater than salary, and I've used the interface. Okay, I'll just uncomment the part of it and I'll comment my earlier part. Okay, I'm creating a reference of my interface and creating object of my child class that is greater than salary, and I'm calling the function of get specific salary condition, and I'm passing my list of employees, and my salary condition is 50,000. Okay, so it will be returning me an output. So for simplicity, what I've done, it's returning me an output. That's why I'm running a for each on that. Okay, so it will return me a list of employee, and I'm running a for each on that, and I'm just printing it out that. Okay, straight as forward. Now here you can see I have created another class that is greater than salary, and that class is actually giving me the functionality, okay, of actually getting the data based on the salary. That means whoever salary is greater than 50,000, that people will be filtered it out. Okay, if I just run this, you will see the data of all the employees whose salary is greater than 50,000. See, 90,000, 70,000, 65, 60, and 80. Okay. If I just show to you earlier, so I had even 45,000 over here, but those things are not coming now. Okay, because my code is working fine. That's what. Okay. Now, yeah. So similarly, I have created less than and equal to. I'll just write a code to show to you that also. So I can create a specific interface. Okay. I have to provide some name. So I'll say salary. Let's do it equal to. Okay. My equal to. I'll create. Okay. Equal condition. I'm just trying to keep the name same. Okay. Yeah. And then let's do this. Now I'll be creating a new object of employee. Sorry, not employee, equal. Yeah, equal to salary. Yes, that's all. Now I'll be calling my function of get specific salary condition for this for from this. Okay, so salary equal dot get specific condition. I'll pass my employee, that's correct. And maybe say I want to get the data of 70, like whoever has a salary of equal to 70,000. Okay, this is what I want to get. So I'm just running it like that. Now I will also print that. Okay, so that's why I'll be doing for each. Okay, I'll show you that. So dot for each. Now I'll use the lambda function over here. Okay, in say in front of you only I'll use so emp, and then I'm creating an arrow function. I've taken an input of emp, I've created an arrow function. Now I have to print that. So I'm using as out statement. I'm passing all this emp. The semicolon is coming extra. It's not needed because I'm using a single liner lambda function. Okay. Now let's just run this and let's see what output we get. Now what we'll do, we will comment out. We will let them run both the things. Okay. We will see what output we get. We will get the both the things. That's a good thing to check. Okay, so it has shown you 70,000 in the same line. What I'll do to differentiate it out, I'll create another statement. I just want to make some lines. Okay, so I should get to know that I have a different output. Okay, let me just run this. See, I'm getting output whose salary is having 70,000. Similarly, you can do it for less than, but I'm not doing it right now. We can skip it. Okay, so this is how we can create. Now, the thing is like every time I have to create a new class. Okay, now the thing is like I don't want to do that. I can use the lambda function where I will create anonymous class. I'll create anonymous function. Okay, now how to do that? Let's just come to that topic. Okay, so I've already created one for you. Now, whatever code we wrote in this greater than class, we have to write the same code in the lambda function. Okay, let's just go and check it out. So you can see now how to do that. I'll give you an example. I'll give you complete overview. Okay, we have to create the functional interface, the class, we have to define it. We have to create a instance, or you can say reference. This reference will store the data, not store the data. This reference is like basically will store the condition or whatever is the functionality of your function. Okay, so this my lambda greater than condition will store the functionality on what basis I am what functionality I'm trying to give. Okay, now you can see I'm taking two input. Now this has to be same as that of my function that is defined in the interface. You can see I'm taking one input as employee, another input as a double. Okay, that's why it has to be same. My first input is my employee list, and my second input is a double parameter. I have just defined it. Now how I'm using it, same thing. I know its employee list is my list of employee. Okay, I'm iterating over there. I'm checking if the salary is greater than D1 or not, which will be given to me at the runtime. And I'm adding in the return list, and I'm returning that list. Okay, because my return type is also mentioned in my interface that it's need a list of employee. That's why even this has to be maintained. Okay, now how to call this function? Good stuff. I've created a function wherever I need it. So I've created the function over here. Okay. I don't have to create another class. Now this my lambda greater condition is working as an anonymous class and also working as an anonymous method. It's working as both. Okay. Because I have not created any class. I have not created any method. Okay. Now let's just go and use it. Now to use it, it's also very straightforward. I have to just call my function, this whichever reference I've created, and call my function which is there get specific condition, and pass him the list of employees, and pass him the salary which I wanted, or pass him the input parameters. Basically it will be giving him an output of a list of employee. So that's why I've done a for each, and I'm just printing it them. Straightforward. Okay, I hope you would have understood it. This is what even we will try to do. Now before that, I'll close the earlier ones. Yeah, so I have closed the earlier ones. Now I will run this code. Great. Now I wanted to check a salary condition greater than 75,000. So I just got two input, just having 80 and 90,000. Okay. Now let's just write, we will ourselves write for the less than. Okay. So see, I'm just creating a interface, the interface name, and then I have to create a reference of it. So I'll say my lambda again. Okay. And I will change the name of it. It's less than. Okay. Less than condition, I'll say. Now I have to define the complete functionality, whichever is the interface available. That's abstract function. So again, it's requiring two input. So I'll say my employee list. Okay. I can even name it anything. It's my input parameter. Okay. So let's just say EMPLOE. Okay. Sorry, spelling mistake. I can give any name. And let's just take D1 only over here. I don't want to change it this right now. But we can change it and we can provide anything. I'm using the arrow mark to separate. Now my input is over. Now I will be giving up my code block. Okay. Now this is a code block. So I have to put a semicolon at the end of it. Remember it. Okay. Now let's just create. Let's just create a less than function. Now it's showing in red because it's expecting a return output and I have not created it yet. Okay. So I'll do that right now. So I'll be needing an array list first of all because I have to return list of employees. Okay. I'm just writing that function, return employee. I'm just naming it like that only. Okay. New array list. Now I will iterate over my, okay. I'll iterate over my list. Okay. Which I'm getting it. So I'll say employee in employee list. Okay. Now I'll filter it out. So if my employee dot get salary is less than D1, whichever is giving to me, okay, then I'll hold them in my output, return emp dot add this employee. That's all. And I'll return the statement, return my return employee, return employee list. Okay, this is how. Now we will use this also. Okay, I'll show you right now over here only. Now I've created already the function. Now I have to use them. So what I will be doing, I'll be calling my already created reference. So we will do my lambda c less than is there, less than. Okay. Now I will call the function which is for the get specific salary condition. I'll pass in my employee list. This is my employees and I'll pass how much amount I want it to be less than that. So let's assume I want to check for 50,000 and less salary. I want to check. Sorry, I've written 5,000. Yeah, now it's 50,000 and less. Now I know it will be returning me a list of employees. So I'll say for each, and similarly I'll say employee because I will print this. Okay, and I'll say s out and I'll put my emp. Okay, remove the extra semicolon like this. This Eclipse, or you can say this your IDs will provide to you. Okay, you can just sort them out. Now we will check both. So to separate it out, I'll put again one of the separators. Should be fine. Let's run this. Now we should be getting two more outputs. See, less than 50,000 I wrote, so I just got one, that is 45,000. We have greater than 75,000, we got both 90,000 and 80,000. Okay, so this is how we can, now this is how we can remove the need of another class, another functions. This lambda function is like very lightweight because my complete system doesn't require another class. Okay, I have removed that dependency of another class. So this is where the lambda functions are more helpful. It helps us creating anonymous functions, anonymous classes. Now this complete piece of code is acting like an anonymous class and also an anonymous function. Okay, so I hope you guys would have understood it. Okay, we have taken up from very small level to a very good level. Okay, yeah, that's all in this video. I'll connect in the next video. We'll talk about some different aspects. Thank you. Bye bye.